Welcome back to Fast Market, everyone. Kevin Hinks back now for our cash tag segment. I'd like to bring in the co-founder of LikeFolio.com, Mr. Andy Swan, to the show. He's going to talk about our featured name today, Nvidia. But you brought a little kicker, Andy, and you think that the relationship between AMD and Nvidia is not as secretariat-like a race as some people think it is. Give us the LikeFolio data on Nvidia as it pertains to AMD.
Well, Nvidia definitely is the secretariat of the field. They're the backbone of global AI. They're powering everything, and they definitely have the best product on the market. I don't think that there's any debate about that. I think Wall Street's pretty much made that a resounding answer in terms of what the investors prefer. Nvidia stock is, it's basically the S&P 1 at this point. But, Nvidia is fantastic, great company, great quality chips. But what we're seeing is that AMD is gaining ground, and we think that will continue. We see AMD web traffic actually up 27%. We threw some other high-tech names in there, along with Nvidia, which is trailing the field in terms of web traffic. And it just tells us that, the consumers of these, which are institutional in nature, are taking a look around at the other options, because Nvidia gets pretty expensive, and a lot of times they can't fulfill every order. And I think especially as, the global AI landscape starts to expand beyond just the super high-tech firms like the LLMs, et cetera, and starts to get into healthcare and other industries that are a lot more price sensitive, but have specific use cases that the AMD technology stack can definitely handle at a lower cost. I think that this broadening of this market really provides AMD with a great pathway to success here. And so while we think it's clear that NVIDIA is the leader, going to remain the leader, and has the best product on the market, the gap between them and AMD is at least stable enough to justify taking a strong look at AMD, especially if you believe, like we do, that the AI broadening out into other sectors beyond just the high-tech, deep pocket space that it's in now could provide excellent opportunity for the second player in the race to make some money.
Yeah, their stock sold off in their earnings report, as Lisa Su apparently didn't do a great job of talking about China and the money that they were going to miss for China. Now, it looks like Nvidia is bypassing some of those H20 chips. They're now going to start going to China. They've got deals lined up. They've got Blackwell and the next level Blackwell, and then a Rubin waiting in the wings. Lisa Su certainly talked very positively about their ability to compete. We didn't even bring up Broadcom and their ability to compete. So this is a story like there may be enough for both companies. Like being number two in an Nvidia AMD race, you could probably still make a lot of money being number two, Andy.
Yeah, you can make a ton of money being number two. If you think about, Amazon, of course, did extraordinarily well with the move to digital commerce, but there's also Alibaba that put a nice return in investors' pockets that were capable of seeing beyond number one. So a lot of times this can happen. It's always good to be invested in the number one in an industry, but number two a lot of times gets overlooked. They get sold off. I think that this sell-off on earnings, great opportunity on AMD because, again, there's only the market for these AI technologies and these extremely powerful chips is growing faster than NVIDIA can grow. And so where is that money go? It has to go somewhere other than NVIDIA. And we think, based on what we saw out of that presentation and the promises that AMD is making in terms of compute power, it makes a lot of sense for that money to flow where, the stat is that AMD can provide 40% more compute power, AI compute power output than NVIDIA on a per dollar basis. And so I think eventually that's where a lot of these firms come to. Not everyone needs the latest and greatest. Not everyone needs a Corvette. For a lot of companies, the second place is going to be just fine for their needs, and they're going to save some money doing it. So AMD's there to pick up all of those pieces. We don't even really see Intel as a major player in this. It's becoming a two-horse race with Nvidia still very far in the lead.
Yeah, Andy, you and I have been doing this for a while on the show, talking about duopolies, right?
Yeah.
We talk a lot about duopolies with Home Depot and Lowe's and Coca-Cola and Pepsi, and we talk about a lot of dual leaders in an industry. So that's not, odd that there could be two leaders like that, or a 1A and a 1B. Also, you just mentioned a key term in this discussion, which is Intel. AMD has taken down Goliaths before, right?
Yeah.
What they're doing to Intel is nothing short of spectacular. How no one thought anyone would touch Intel, Andy, and AMD has basically taken away that part of their business. So don't think they can't. So far, NVIDIA's off to a big start, right? But that doesn't mean the race is going to end like that. Your final thoughts?
Yeah, and the other thing I think that's important to note is that all of these tech firms, what they don't want is to become reliant upon a monopoly. So you're seeing OpenAI, you're seeing some of these companies say, we're going to throw some business AMD's way because we need competition between the two firms that are supplying us. We need AMD to be successful just like we need NVIDIA to be successful. And so there's also that component, of AMD just simply getting propped up by its own customers in order to stay relevant and stay as a competitor to NVIDIA, to just keep the big dog in check. It has to happen. So we really like AMD on these dips.
Yeah, it's funny. If I'm a salesman for AMD, Andy,